Oh, bingo! What's up, homie?
What's up? How are you?
Good, dude. Is that a hotel or apartment? You got a good setup there.
This is our Orlando G League Bubble hotel. So
nice.
we have like a double bed. But yeah, that's basically it.
And you get to go out, right? You get to go out. You're on Wide World Sports campus.
Yeah, well, we're in some resort like on campus that's really close to nice. The ESPN Wide World of Sports. So we take a bus like 5 minutes or something, and then we go over. But hey, we're in Florida and we're on the Disney World campus, but our view doesn't look as nice as yours. That's amazing.
It's actually a painting. This is one of those drops that you can just put in there. No, it's
okay.
Really cool,
it's a moving painting. That's so cool. I see all the boats moving in the background. That's pretty cool.
I'm the first one to create that on Zoom. You get to go to Disney World. You get to go on the rides.
No, we are in a bubble. You know what a bubble means?
It means you get to do nothing. But
yeah. Hey. It means I sit in this room all day.
Yeah. Dude, you know what? I wear this shirt around and people just look at me like I'm smarter.
Dude, I'm telling you.
First of all, how the heck do you do that? Amazing.
Well, the shirt that you wore, that's actually the school that I went to, so I'm capable of doing those types. No, I'm just kidding.
I think we met when I was probably living out of my car on that early grind.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude.
I remember you saying that, and I thought it was just I thought it was just like a saying or a phrase, but I didn't realize it was really actually happening.
Yeah, I would have invited you to sleep over in my car too. I mean, you could have the front seat. I'd take the back seat.
That's okay.
Dude, you're the man.
And I remember all of that stuff, but I didn't remember because that was during my ruptured patellar tendon year, and so like I felt like a lot of that was a blur of just like, man, and so even reading that, I was like, whoa, that's right. Like it brought me back to that place in that time when I wasn't healthy, when I had just missed out 2 straight seasons in the NBA, and I was just like, oh my goodness, like. Yeah, and so reading that story was really cool, because I was just like, man, for me to be healthy like today is like it gave me good perspective. Yeah,
and that was low key one of the most fun times of my life coming up there. We're going like running off like 17 escape rooms straight. Wild.
I mean, it was ridiculous because we first started with like one. It was like one a day. Right. Yeah. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to come back, or I'm going to visit you. Like you would come and visit me in different places. And then the next year when you came to Vancouver with Aaron, I was like, okay, it would be ridiculous if we did 2. So I was like looking up a spot that had 2, but then the spot that had 2 had 3. So I was like, why not 3? Then we did 3 in one day and we finished it. And so we were like, all right, let's look at what else is available. And then we found the next day, we found another one with 4 straight. So we did 4 straight. I mean, dude, it was ridiculous.
It was wild.
Being around you and Aaron. I mean, that was like one of the best weekends, or one of the best. Yeah, like 3-4 days that like it was so memorable.
Hey, when we're out of this COVID thing, we're gonna go tackle some more.
Yeah,
there's one in the Bay, and it's the number 1 rated one. We gotta get it.
And we popped a bottle. We like popped a bottle of champagne in a parking lot at like 4 in the afternoon because we won like that was like our like 17th escape room collectively in a row or something like that.
I gotta put that video up as a slow motion popping champagne video.
Yeah,
dude, that's hilarious. Well, man, hey, I appreciate you big time coming on this, dropping some knowledge on here, supporting Read and Pivot and Go, and just everything you do, man, for me as an encouragement, as a friend, the emails you send me, the devotionals. You know how many people I've got on that devotional you send me?
Oh, that's awesome. I
have like 350 people on the devotional list. Yeah, that I send out.
Wow.
Same ones that you started sending me. So
wow.
Thanks for being just being a light to everybody, man. Appreciate you.
No worries, and I'm just glad to see. I'm happy to support. Glad to see you using your platform. I mean, I think we talk a lot about being a better person, and that's for sure better. And you can become a better person, a better athlete, a better basketball player. But even in Pivot and Go, you touch a lot on just becoming, living a better life, and also just what it means to really save your soul and to understand what it means to be a son or daughter in Christ. And that is everything that this world is going to come down to. And so for you to be able to share your faith through the book and to continue to build God's kingdom, like, I hope that people take that to heart and take a chance to really think about it for themselves. I mean, to pivot and go, to go off the theme of your book, to be able to do that and to explore what that might look like for your life or where your identity lies, and maybe to, explore the cavity in your heart and to see and see if Jesus can fill it, because he can. That could be the biggest pivot and life-saving, soul-saving pivot that you ever make. So anyways, I'm gonna get off. So no, I wanted to crack open a book, and then I saw that it was, and you talk about it, it's 29 days, right? Because 28 is how long it takes to have basically to start a habit. And so I was like, oh, I didn't realize that it was a 28-day or 29-day book. But then I kind of got caught up in it, and I just kept reading. And so that's just what ended up happening. I just kept reading, and next thing you know, I was done with the book.
Dude, amazing. So I got to ask you, what was your favorite part or chapter? So everybody, Jeremy wrote the foreword along with my wife, who I just saw commented in the comments down there. What was your favorite part or chapter other than the foreword?
Oh man, there were so many good stories. I was surprised at all the stories. Honestly, of all the ones, I know you shared some of Baines and Kelly and Nick Nurse and everybody, but my favorite one, honestly, was when you talked about how you turned down that, you had met somebody in the Bay Area and you had a great opportunity. And then it ended up not being, at the end of the day, it was that wasn't what was right for you, and then you ended up grinding. And when you describe your grind, I have another level of respect to see that you were sleeping out of your car, you were in the airport, you were doing everything to make it happen. And then coming to the realization that that in and of itself, and the goals that you set and the monetary goal that you set and those types of things, ultimately the pursuit of that is not necessarily wrong, but the idolization and putting your identity in that is very much where you went wrong. And the reason why it resonated with me so much is because that's exactly what happened to me too, just in a different way of just committing myself to a grind that was unhealthy, and it was purely based on what I felt like I could control and do, and not what I felt like God. There was no room for God in there, and so there's only room for me, and that's why I ended up burnt out, and that's why I ended up not where I wanted to be.
Dude, that's so amazing. We can resonate it with each other on that level. Your level is more of a worldwide scene level, and I actually use that story in talks. I remember talking with you and you saying that you wouldn't want to go through that same time, that Linsanity time, because of the what if you can't keep this up, and just the pressure you put on yourself. But now, dude, you're one of the most comfortable in your skin people that I've ever seen. You're just you. You are authentically you, and you don't care who says it, who says anything about it. And that's what we all want.
My hair is proof of that.
Bro, I comb my hair just for this, just for you. No, but it's the authenticity and the genuineness that, we can't put our hopes and dreams and goals in anything monetary, because we could end up being Steve Jobs and the richest man in the world, and then just completely miserable on our deathbed. Man, so well said.
Yeah, so honestly, that of all the stories that you had, and you had stories of Mark Cuban and people and names that everyone would recognize, but the one that resonated the most was one of the stories of you, because I know you personally, because I've been around you, and you described all these different things. I text you and talk to you when you're in Japan or when you're across the world and you're doing these camps and you're doing different things, but to see, but you always are so positive, and you might not share all the details of it, but to hear just how you went through all of that, that was very touching.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Bro, yeah, hey, drop the mic on that and get off. I'm just going to say, if I could have wrote just one word in there and just put Jesus, that is the way to true joy. And you just hit the nail on the head, man. All right, drop the mic. I know you got late night hours at Epcot to get to, so go hit it.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, bro.
All right, brother. See you, man.
All right, later.